this is Lori from Shoo Paper Art, and for today's video I've got an idea for stretching your background dies. Some of these dies can be pretty pricey, so it's kind of nice to have another way to use them. These cards feature the Floral Fusion background die from MFT Stamps and the Layered Medallion B die from Altenew. The first thing you have to do, of course, is cut those out. We're going to use them as basically a stencil. I've cut them out from 120-pound cardstock, and as you can see, I've already used them, so they hold up really pretty well. Let's start with this card right here. Before I do that, one thing I want to point out is you can see that I've used several different center focus pieces. So this technique will work well with whatever you want to put on your card. This sweet little image is an Agnes Richardson image that will be available as a free download on my blog. So if you're interested in using this to create with, then you can find it at the blog post that is linked down in the information for this video. All right, so yeah, let's start with this card. The reason I'm starting with this one is because it is the easiest one to do because of the size. I cut this panel to fit right inside the die, so I don't have to do any moving around. It's really pretty easy to do. Now, one thing that makes this easy is to use some kind of repositional, get that out, glue. I think there's a spray, there's several things. For this, I'm using the Easy Dots from Scrapbook Adhesives, and this works really well. I don't need a lot. One of the reasons why I am putting repositional adhesive on this die is because of these little pieces here. It can lift up really easily, and it's easier if I don't have to keep poking them down. So I'm going to hit those points especially, and then maybe in the middle and just some places that will hold it down into place. So let me do that. Particular card, I'm using let's see, Picked Raspberry Distress Ink and Squeeze Lemonade Distress Oxide. I didn't have any trouble blending those two types of inks together, so they're what I had on hand, and I really like these two colors together. They're really bright and cheery. And I'm also using two of the brushes that I got from Amazon. All of this will be linked below in the information for the blog post, And and all the supplies are of course listed below. All right, so let's get started. A really pretty panel. I love that. All right, for this one, I also used, let's see, what are these called? Life is Beautiful butterflies from Paper Tray Ink. And I cut two of those. One of the solid butterflies and one of the open work butterflies. And for the solid butterfly, I kind of decided it would look something like that, and I thought that it would show up best if I kind of used the color opposite of what I had on the background piece. So I'm going to go ahead and color up, ink up this butterfly. to trim off some of the pieces of this butterfly so I don't have to worry about lining them up exactly. So I'm going to cut up the top part and the bottom part before I glue them together. Now, one of the striking things about this card is the big sentiment there, vintage text message, which I think is adorable and fun. You could use it for all kinds of things. You could use it on envelopes, and I can't wait to use it some more. Okay, so that sentiment is from the Stampgram set from the Stamp Market, and I've used the dies in a previous video, and also I used them again for the cards. I used this frame for the other cards in this video. So this is a really cool stamp set. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and stamp that image on. Black against that bright, vibrant color. So fun. All right, the card base for this ends up being 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. I better clean this off before I have it all over my card base. And I'm just going to glue this on and glue on the butterfly, and this is a quick, pretty card. Okay, fun, right? All right, let's move on to the next card. This one features this beautiful girl from Waffle Flower. I just love her. This is what I would consider a companion to a previous stamp that I also love, but of course this one has a kitty, so it is, I'm kind of partial to it. So this is a bigger card, and as you can see, the dies don't cover the whole area. So I'll show you how easy it is just to move the die around to make the stencil work. Now this one features the Floral Fusion die. So also, let's see, what else am I using on this one? I'm using my fresh inks for this one. I love these colors. I think they're so pretty. This one's called Chamomile, and this one is Pool. And this one is Pink Lemonade. I think they're so pretty together. All right, so this one's going to be done basically the same way. I've cut the stencil from 120 pound cardstock, and my card base is 5 by 6 3/4. All right. I wanted it big enough to accommodate the image of the girl, and also to show some of the stencil work behind it. I'm going to do this one the same way. I'm going to turn it over, and in a couple of spots I'm going to put some repositional glue tape, and that way I can move it around easily but still have it pretty much stick to the card base, which is helpful. Okay. Now, one thing that I found made this look better, and also helped me to move it around without it looking like it wasn't a large stencil, you know, like some demarcation, which I didn't want, was to make sure that I kept the bars off the edge as much as possible and then stayed away from it over on this edge. And that way I didn't end up with a weird line. Okay, I'm going to start out with the pink lemonade and go on from there. Now to change this, I'm just going to lift it off and move it down. And I found that I really don't have to worry too much about lining anything up or making sure that the flowers, anything like that, because the way this is done, you really just don't notice that it switches the stencil in any way. That's all there is to creating this background. All right, let's take a look at the image. This is from, it's called Thinking of You from Waffle Flower, and she's just beautiful. I had so much fun coloring her. The one that I was talking about, the companion, I also did polka dots in her hair. I don't know why, it just appealed to me. So, and she got even more polka dots. I used the Jelly Roll pen to make the dots on her sweater and her headband. I colored her with Copics, and I also put some dots on the cat as well. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see, I guess I could try to make that a little bit closer. Okay, so dots on the cat as well. And if you can see in her hair, she has pink dots and gold dots. And there's also some gold dots on the leaves and some white ones in the cherries. Now the gold dots I made with, what is this thing called? It's called, let's see here, Kirarina Wink. It is a Copic product. It works like a poster pen or a paint pen. It's a little bit hard to use. You run the risk of blobs, which is irritating, but it's also really pretty, and if you're careful you can get some really pretty effects. So here's one that I colored, and if you're interested in the Copic colors, you can find the complete list. Oops, you can find the complete list on my blog post. So this has to be kind of primed. And I think if you hold it up rather than flat, you tend to get some of the air bubbles out. And then I basically just replaced or went over the top of some of the pink dots with gold dots. And it looks really pretty. And then I also put dots on the leaves just to kind of tie them in, like so. And then some white dots made with the Jelly Roll pen. I also did that in, I'm not sure these are cherries, I think they're cherries. And I just put some white dots on those as well to kind of tie in the polka dot thing. She's so pretty. I love her. All right, so let's take a look at the rest of the card. Underneath her, I've got some die cuts, and this little one is the mini delicate doilies from MFT Stamps. I love these. I use them a lot. I think they're so pretty just as a little accent piece. And that was just ink blended with the pink lemonade ink. And I also used this die cut that I don't have any idea, I'm sorry, I don't know where it came from. I don't know how that happens to me sometimes, but anyway, I guess if you could see my room, you would understand. I'm embarrassed to say that, but it's true. A little bit of Hug Snug that colored, and a button. Some little sequins here and there to finish her off, and she's oh so pretty. This one, again, is the image that's available from my blog, and there's that pretty die cut frame from the Stampgram set from the Stamp Market, and it's done a lot the same way down here at the bottom. This one just has two colors in the background, the pink lemonade and the chamomile, and so that looks pretty too. I added the pool for this one just because her hair was teal, and I thought, well, you know, that would be kind of fun. All right, well, I hope that this gave you an idea for extending those background dies, and thank you for joining me. You can always find me at shoo-shoo-paperart.com.